Welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this video is going up on Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to our American friends and also our UK friends that are now celebrating American Thanksgiving.
Yes,
so
we did a video on that. You can go look.
And that was about Gen Z and millennials celebrating Thanksgiving. And now we're going to blame Gen Z for the collapse of restaurants because they're not drinking enough. They're drinking mocktails and not alcohol. And it's all your fault if the restaurant goes out of business.
I mean, I don't see what the problem is here, but you know.
Well, the problem for the restaurant owners, and we'll talk about the mocktail trend, the problem for the restaurant owners is that is where most of their revenue comes from.
But they charge a shit ton for the mocktails too.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be saving money, right? Because they'd be like, hey, we don't have to put any alcohol in this. It's just sugar water.
An awful lot for them, and then they don't have to put the alcohol. So yeah.
So let's talk about Gen Z not boozing up, and maybe it's a cultural thing, maybe it's a financial thing. I mean, booze is not cheap. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com. Help support the channel. Sign up for content you will not get anywhere else. We're not going to post this stuff on YouTube, so check it out. more.clownfishtv.com. Let's talk about the mocktails first, and then we'll go into the financial hangover, I guess, that a lot of restaurants are experiencing right now. New York Post has festive mocktails are becoming the norm at holiday parties as Gen Z increasingly passes on booze.
Well, I'm just looking into it, and they said a lot of mocktails can cost as much as the alcohol versions because they use a base that is expensive like alcohol anyway. So you're still making the money.
I thought they were pretty expensive. I don't.
They are. They're not cheap. I don't drink them either, but
I'm like, yeah, because it's the same prep time. But I thought you were paying for the spirits, right? So, you could go to Disney and you could order an actual cocktail, and it's basically a mocktail because there's hardly any alcohol in it.
It's true. At least ones we've been to.
Charge you like $15 for that. Anyway, a growing number of Americans are swapping cocktails for mocktails, and the number suggests the shift is here to stay. This is going to be a problem for bars, right? Recent surveys show nearly half of Americans now favor non-alcoholic drinks at the holiday table. Well, who wants to get drunk at the holiday table with your crazy-ass family and get into
who knows
a literal fist fight on Christmas or Thanksgiving, which happened at my house on many, many occasions. Not our house, but it's complicated. My life is complicated. But pretty much every family event, when you had extended family, ended in a fist fight. When alcohol was
that didn't happen at mine, but the
police were called one time. That was great. And believe it or not, it wasn't like, I don't know, you would not, let's just say the people that got in the fight are not the kind of people you would think would get into a drunken brawl at the holidays. It was different.
Grandma just took her teeth out and said, hold this, and then went,
No. My life is complicated. I'm going to bore you with the details. Anyway, zero proof spirit sales have jumped 22% in the last year, and the market is projected to top $1 billion by the end of 2025.
Okay, but top $1 billion, so it sounds like you're still making money.
Yeah, but the bar, like if you're going out to have a drink with the sole
bars
purpose
and stuff. Well, yeah,
right,
but
bars,
the restaurants are the same thing as bars.
That's because younger drinkers, mainly millennials and Gen Z, are reshaping consumer behavior across the beverage industry. The Thanksgiving season is no exception. By leaning into mocktails, hosts are aligning with younger guest preferences and reflecting broader social shifts, already redefining how Americans celebrate.
This is AI.
According to the association, it has to be. Not everyone is convinced the sober shift is entirely positive. Not everyone's convinced the sober shift is positive. How dare you?
Somebody whose best friend was killed by a drunk driver, I think it's very positive.
As somebody who grew up in a household where there were fist fights at pretty much every holiday, I think it's positive.
Due to alcohol, yes.
Due to alcohol. It's very complicated. Some bartenders and guests worry the growing mocktail movement risks watering down the ritual that gives holiday cocktails their charm. No. Watering down their money.
Yeah,
right?
that's what it's about. It's about
bartenders are upset. And I would be worried too if I ran a bar and it was like, hey, guess what? Nobody's drinking alcohol. Well, then why go to a bar to drink a
But
mocktail?
a lot of places that were doing bars were doing mocktails, and they were doing alcoholic and non-alcoholic versions. Like they'd have special events, like they have a Stranger Things night, for example, and they would, because it's relevant, and they would make alcoholic versions of things, and they'd have like non-alcoholic versions of things, because some people, you can go to the bar and not drink.
Yeah.
Or you could drink something that wasn't alcohol. And so that was attracting a larger audience, because they might have like a watch party, and then they offer different versions. So people who normally would not go were having that opportunity to go. So you're just not looking at it in the right way.
Traditional cocktails remain the top sellers within our spirits program. There's something special about sitting down to an elegant dinner and ordering an old fashioned or a dirty martini, especially around the holidays. I do like a good sidecar every once in a while, but every once in a while. You like the Long Island iced tea. I don't drink very much.
After the last one I had, which was the good stuff, and I took 2
the one
sips.
that sent you to the 2.6.
No, what? No, it had.
What did you say?
The good stuff.
Yeah, but you said something after that. That you said I thought you said the 6.7 or whatever.
No,
I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell?
I mean, it's 6.7 before 6.7 was the thing.
6.7.
No, I was like, I just took a couple sips. I took 2 sips, and then my face got all red, and I was saying things that I was like, why?
Oh, saying that. Okay, was that the same one? I took a sip of it, and I was like.
At your company party?
Yes. I was like, what is there any tea in this Long Island iced tea?
There's no tea in Island iced tea anyway. But
yeah, I know, but it was like straight up just alcohol.
It was an open bar. It was all good.
Back when we had money, then the company had money. Yeah, and they used to spend money on their employees.
Yeah, it was an open bar. So
yeah. So for many in the industry, the shift isn't about replacing tradition. It's about expanding it. Mocktails are finding their way into more menus every day, said Kentucky-based mixologist Jennifer Bryan. Whether on a Thanksgiving table or restaurant menu, the mocktails become a staple. Yeah, you see it at every restaurant now.
It's a good idea, because you can come up with all kinds of crazy ideas for drinks and stuff, and people are buying them because then they feel like they're still getting like their friends get an alcoholic beverage, and maybe you're a designated driver. Okay, you can still have a alcohol-esque type drink like everybody else is having. I mean, unless you're a beer drinker or something, you could have a cocktail too.
I think they have non-alcoholic beer.
They do, but I'm just saying, like, this is more about
it's
cocktails.
Called piss.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just open your mouth and let somebody piss in your mouth.
Yeah. Anyway, so that you can have that too and experience it. But like, my thing is, I don't buy cocktails or mocktails because they're too damn expensive. And I'm just like, you know what? This meal itself's costing me a small fortune plus tip. I'm sure as hell not going to spend an additional $30 on like 2 drinks.
Yeah, well, that's what they count on, though. That's where most of the revenue comes from. So yeah, of course,
cheap.
I mean, I get
this video.
Yeah, I get where they're coming from, because they're talking about sharing the mocktails, and it used to be like if you weren't drinking, it was like, were you having a Shirley Temple?
I love Shirley Temples. I was brought that up earlier.
What if she was a drunk
when I was a kid?
What if she was a dirty drunk, and it was like, oh, Shirley Temple actually will send you to 6.7 pretty quick, and you might actually get to 6.9 if you drink enough of them.
When I was a kid, I remember we would go out around the holidays. It was like a big tradition. We'd always go out, and it was my mom's family. And I remember we were there with my cousins, and they got us all Shirley Temples, and we thought we were the shit. I gotta tell you, we were like, oh, we got cocktails too. But I love those things. My mom used to make
cherry
them for us.
in it.
Yes. My mom used to make them for
Shirley
us at home because we
cherry.
love them so much. Stop talking. Anyways.
Yeah, now they have a lot more options. Well, I think what it is basically like, okay, what do you do when everybody stops smoking? Oh, now we're vaping. It's not quite smoking, but also kinda. It's
kind of worse for you, but
it's kind of, well, it depends on what it is. But yeah, so they have all, because the thing is, like, look, people aren't smoking, they're not drinking, so you gotta come up with alternatives to replace that revenue, right? Gotta get them hooked on something else. But no, I mean, people socially, they will drink, and honestly, I'd rather, if you're still gonna have a good time, I'd rather everybody be sober.
Yeah, like, I don't know why you can't have fun without, but that's just me.
I don't know. I think it was a cultural thing for the longest time.
I don't know. In some countries and cultures that they have wine when you're like 12, But I mentioned earlier, my best friend was killed by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
When we were like 22, 21 or 22.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a drinker before that, but I sure as hell am not a drinker now. And it's just, of course, she was the victim. The other person was drunk off their rear, and they were trying to hit somebody. So if people don't want to drink as much and they don't want to go to bars, they want to go to bars and have mocktails. I am 100 and 200% behind you on that one.
All right. So this is the other side of it for the restaurant owners. Mm-hmm. Celebrity chef says Gen Z drinking habits pose existential threat to the restaurant industry. So because Gen Z is not drinking enough alcohol, the restaurant industry is going to implode. It's all your fault. Is it because
they're not selling mocktails either? They're talking about they'll ask for water, or they'll ask for soda. Is that
That's what I'm thinking. Because I mean, look, mocktails. If it's a money thing, mocktails are almost as expensive as alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, and they might cost you less. And if you get creative with it, you could totally market that and do well.
Yeah. So here's David Chang, founder of Momofuku. He appeared on a recent episode of TBPM podcast and pointed to places like LA where he said younger people are drinking much less and it's taking a toll on restaurants' bottom lines. The crazy thing is kids just don't drink anymore. He said, like, kids start when they start a tab, which is crazy to me. They close it out every time. What is going on?
Because they don't want to spend them. I think it's about money. You have a generation that they said, I've read reports that they're saving, more 19-year-olds are saving for retirement than they've seen in years. And these kids are like they're having trouble finding jobs, and money is, important now. And we have the economy being the way it is. They probably are just buying what's cheaper, like Coke and water, as opposed to going out and buying a bunch of alcohol. Because those prices of the alcohol drinks, the reason I don't buy them is because they're too damn expensive.
I wince.
Well, I don't drink, but
Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't drink very much, and I'm like, we go out and then you're like, oh, why don't you get something? I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, this one's 15.
Yeah.
This one's 12.
That's why they're not drinking. I don't think it has anything to do
like
with
that's
alcohol.
a whole meal.
It's the expense because they're not buying the mocktails that much either then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Even, if you have the money for it, I'm just looking at like, I can't drink $15, $20. And people are like, amateur, I'm going to order a $200 bottle of wine and chug it and drink that money. I'm like, no, that makes me, oh God.
I cringe when I think about how much money people spend just drinking. I mean, if that's what you do, that's your money. You do what you want to do. I'm just too damn cheap.
Save some money for the liver transplant. Just saying. It's like
they're not saying they're drinking all the time.
Oh, yeah, I know, but you're like, hey, this is your money. You want to drink it all? It's hurting small businesses. He said, if you look at only the blended numbers for most restaurants for beverage sales, I think it might look flat or down, but it's actually way worse. He says. So this is a celebrity chef, I guess. I don't really follow celebrity chefs, but so according to a Gallup poll conducted earlier this year, just 54% of U.S. adults reported they consume alcohol, the lowest percentage in the survey's 90-year history. Wow. Among young adults, alcohol consumption has already been on the decline for the past decade, but the trend has accelerated in recent years, with the rate dropping from 59% in 2023 to 50% today. So, yeah, they're talking about it having a detrimental impact on their health. And it's kind of, again, it's like smoking. It's, everybody used to smoke and now hardly anybody smokes. Mm-hmm. And it's drinking's kind of the same way too, right?
Again, I think all of it has to do with expense.
And smoking too. Smoking is incredibly expensive, right?
Now they're addicted to their phones. They don't need to go being addicted to
their phones. You've got your phones. You can just get a smoking or drinking app, a mixology app. They said, the continuation of these trends may hinge on whether recent pronouncements about drinking's risks are the final word on the subject. They said the trajectory of drinking could also depend on how much doctors, health authorities, and policymakers reinforce the message that no amount of alcohol is risk-free. And that's what happened to smoking, too. It was like smoking was...
So you're supposed to lie and tell people it's good for you?
It's good for the economy. You better start drinking and smoking and shooting up while you're at it. And all the drugs. Just do all the drugs, kids.
All the drugs. You can tell you're an expert on it.
Do some meth.
All of them.
All of them. Do some meth. Because the cat litter industry is down because cats are expensive. So you do some meth to make up for that. There you go. I guess you use cat. Don't you use cat litter for that?
I don't know. I don't make meth. Don't ask me.
Well, I thought you did
because a lot of things.
So
that's
our former neighbors, there were a lot of cat litter containers
lots of stories, guys.
outside their house, and they didn't have a cat.
It wasn't just cat litter containers. There were all kinds of weird bottles, and they blacked out their basement windows.
They blacked out their basement windows. They had a hose running out of the basement window, and the basement was always. I'm like, you're cooking something in the basement there, Walter. Something's going on.
Yeah, it was weird. And then after they broke up, all that stuff disappeared, thank God. But our kids were little. We were just like, okay, so you blow up your house. How many houses around here are going to get taken out with it?
Highly concerned because we lived pretty close to an elementary school,
weird
too.
cars were coming in all the time.
Cars were coming in the middle of the night. Got so bad we had to put security cameras up. And this was a good neighborhood. It wasn't a bad neighborhood, but I was like, oh my God, what is going on here? But yeah, so they're just going to be like, oh my God, the economy's devastated. People aren't going to drink themselves to death anymore. What are we going to do, guys? What are we going to do? They don't want cancer from cigarettes. What are we going to do?
I know, right? They don't want to spend all the money on this shit. What are we going to do? They're too busy buying apps.
Well, now I'm waiting for the next one. They might not get sick as much. What's the pharmaceutical industry going to do?
Yeah.
And we can't sell them pills. Oh my God, they're not going to get cancer. How are we going to make our money, guys? Food coloring, that's it.
But anyway, we thought it was interesting that they're kind of losing their crap because they're not selling as much alcohol. But I'm not seeing the downside of this, in my opinion. But
Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.